Hello once again, my people, it is I, Viet, and welcome back to Repeat. Last episode, Herschel fucking blew up in everybody's face, and they didn't even pay for their bills. They just straight up was just like, everyone left. And, it was so fucking uncomfortable. So, we're trying to figure that out, and something happened outside, which I'm pretty sure is part of a remnant piece of shit, so let's get started, shall we? Let's go. I sprinted outside with Ginny following close behind. The pain made the world spin sporadically. I don't think that's how you spell sporadically. As I stumbled onto the sidewalk. Glad to see you could make it, Veed. Where was it? I blinked through the sweat dripping down my brow as I struggled to see where the voice came from. That voice. That was my voice. The remnant was speaking with my own voice. What are you doing to me? Veed, look! Oh, fuck my life. Oh no. Echo's fucking dead, bitch. Grotesque shards of glass were scattered across the pavement. There was a shattered camera lying among the glass. And then the sickening realization hit me. Those were Echo's remains. Oh, he's fucking dead, bitch. Oh my god. Hey. That's some fucking Moira-ass looking aesthetic shit right there.
My will made real.
Hey! The nauseating sound of crunching bone reverberated through my skull as the remnant gnawed his way through what was left of Echo's arm. It looked straight at me with its inhumane eyes and grinned through its meal. Finally. I was so tired of feeling empty. The sound of my own voice coming out of that creature's mouth was nothing short of terrifying. Another sharp pain crackled through my chest as I fell to my knees again. Ginny ran up to my side and helped me back onto my feet, looking bewildered. Is that the same faceless thing that was following me a couple of days ago? The remnant tipped its head towards her in a rabid grin. Yes. And now I can finally give Veed what he truly wishes for. That old hag in the lake can't hold me back anymore. The remnant crouched down, its back suddenly lurching and bubbling as though something was trying to claw out of it. Okay, Soul Eater, I see you! Oh my god! Suddenly a mass of tendrils burst out of its back like maggots from a cocoon. The tendrils shaped into dozens of grotesque hands, each clawing hungrily at the air. The remnant tilted its head and stared towards me. That's why we weren't supposed to trust Echo! The single violet eye in its head rolled into its socket to peer intensely into me. I will make your wish reality, no matter how many times it takes. Even if I have to repeat this wretched world over and over and over again. It paused and lifted its head, as though to sniff the air in search of something. This time, it looks like I'll have to focus on him. Fuck my life! No! Get my boyfriend out of this situation! Ginny and I stood in stunned silence as the remnant abruptly disappeared before our eyes. After a few moments, I stumbled forward and anxiously reached at the shards of Echo that were scattered across the pavement. They crumbled into dust the moment my fingers touched them. A heavy sense of dread gnawed at my chest as I watched the dust scatter in the air. He's really gone. The pain in my chest continued to ache as the feeling of my wish slowly faded away. Now there's only an empty numbness inside. Ginny knelt down to me and wrapped a comforting arm around my shoulder. I'm not sure what just happened, but are you doing okay? I pressed a hand against my chest and squeezed my eyes shut. I'm not sure. Everything just hurts now. I don't mean to scare you even more, but what was that thing talking about? Whatever it was doesn't sound very good. I'll have to focus on him. Ginny and I looked at each other for a split second before simultaneously coming to the same conclusion. Sissel. Oh, Jesus. Okay. We're gonna just have our casual transitions. Sissel wandered down the cold trail of Bradley Woods while glaring intensely at the under his feet. Okay, that's also not proper English, but okay. It seemed like he was always found himself back to whenever life felt like it was going somewhere good. He sighed and rubbed his sore eyes again, his eyelids still raw from sobbing for an hour straight. There were no tears left, just exhaustion. Sissel sat down on a nearby log and buried his face in his hands. He was glad Ginny and Veed weren't around to baby him this time around, but the woods felt a little colder without them fussing over him. He didn't deserve their help anyhow. Even when he tried his best to make things right, everything took a turn for the worse, making a mess wherever he goes. His parents didn't want him, now even Herschel didn't want him. Maybe he really was worthless. Aw, that's not true. You know that's not true. Veed, I told you to leave me alone. Sissel jumped around and looked in confusion. No! Nah, bitch! No, please don't murder my boyfriend. There was no one else around him. It was just him, alone on a log in a forest. Sissel sat up straight, his hair standing on end. Veed? Is that you? Not really in the mood for pranks. I never joke about something so important. Are you doing alright? You're not looking too good. Sissel scowled and rolled his eyes. I'm not going to talk to someone who feels like hiding and playing games. Alright, I'm coming out. Yeah, no, we're not fucking having it. The forest air hissed as something appeared and sitting on the log next to him. The fuck? Yeah, me too, bitch. Sissel jumped and nearly toppled off his seat in shock. Don't be afraid. I'm just your friendly neighborhood spirit. Ghost thingy. Ugh, even I'm not sure about the details. Sissel gazed at this strange creature mumbling on the log next to him. His first instinct was to run the hell out of here, but there was something about it that felt strangely familiar. He gulped before staring at its horrific face closely. I hate to break it to you, but you look like anything but friendly. Hey, I didn't want to be born this way. This is just how Veed made me. Sissel blinked. Veed made you into this? The creature shrugged awkwardly at this disbelief. Depression is an ugly thing. No, I don't blame him. Speaking of depression, the thing tilted its head towards him at a strange angle. Sissel felt its empty eye sockets examining him carefully. You don't sound too good. My parents didn't want me. Herschel didn't want me. Sissel's stomach lurched painfully. Stop doing that. I make a mess wherever I go. Whatever I do. Maybe I really am worthless. Shut up. Get out of my head. The creature paused and gave him a soft smile with its crooked mouth. You know, you're being unfair to yourself. Herschel doesn't hate you, and neither did your parents. Heck, you don't even know your parents. They could be the sweetest people in the world for all you know. Sissel crossed his arms and stared at his feet uncomfortably. I am so uncomfortable right now. Ooh. Ooh.
Say ooh.
Why'd they leave me in a dumpster then? The creature's smile faltered as it hung its head down in silence. And Herschel. I did everything I could to help him out, but he just... Sissel inhaled sharply and sighed. Here I am. I tried my damn best, but nobody wanted it. Or me. The creature stared at him quietly for a moment before speaking again. Everyone is fighting their own battles. I know that Herschel loves you very much, but he's also dealing with a lot of guilt. And as for your parents, I have no doubt your mother loved you very much too. Sissel looked up at it sharply. How do you know that? You're just a thing! The shadowy entity laughed softly and hopped onto its feet. In that case, I'll just have to show you. Follow me. Wait! No, I'm not okay with this. Sissel gaped and watched as the creature limped quietly down the forest trail and disappeared. Something tells him he shouldn't follow strange creatures into strange places. Hell, he could just be hallucinating all this after crying so much earlier today. But that thing mentioned knowing something about his mother. Sissel took a deep breath and stood up. He knows Bradley Woods like the back of his hands anyways. What's the harm in taking a look? No, Sissel, don't do it. You're gonna fucking die, and I don't want you to die. That thing called itself the Remnant. It's a depressing name, though. Just call me Remy or something. Just call me Remy or something. Led him to a familiar sight in the woods. Oh, at least he has a little bit of comedy. The creature beckoned him excitedly before ducking into the ruined cabin's low doorframe. Sissel followed it with a doubtful frown. He's lived in this broken-down cabin for most of his life and was familiar with almost everything in here. What was this Remy trying to show him? He began digging around in a dark corner of the cluttered room like a dog scavenging for a treat. Bits of rotting wood was flung in the air. Sissel flicked away a wood chip stuck in his fur before peering over Remy's shoulder curiously. The creature suddenly gurgled triumphantly through a mouthful of wood. Here we are. Sissel was starting to see Remy stand up with a scratched up VHS tape in his mouth. It grinned at him before dropping it into his hands. Sissel wrinkled his nose at the spit-covered tape and wiped it on his pant leg. Oh god, I'm not ready. I'm not here. What is this supposed to be? Do you not know what a VHS is? Man, kids these days. No, bitch. I know exactly what a VHS is. I have a whole bunch. And you know what? It's better than discs, in my opinion. Truth thesis. Like, getting it to, go all the way back fucking sucked. But it's not as fragile as the discs are. Sissel held the smelly tape in its arm's length and scowled. I didn't exactly grow up in a technology-filled household. Am I supposed to stick it in a TV or something? The creature nodded its head almost to say, well, duh. I doubt this whole thing works anymore. What would I even find a VHS player around here? All the tech junk in the cabin is broken to hell and back anyways. Remy laughed and tapped its leg on the wooden floor excitedly. That's not a problem. Jesus! Sissel gasped in astonishment. No, do not trust this bitch. The aged surface of the tape shifted and renewed itself right under his fingertips. The pieces of the smashed up television sat on the cottage floor, scuttled together like ants returning to a colony. Shards of plastic and metal slide into place and form what looked like a brand new TV. I'm not having this, bitch. I'm not joking, bitch.
Oh, now I'm not joking, bitch.
Sissel ran his head across its surface, mesmerized. Wow, you can make things like new again. This whole thing has been lying in the corner for years. Kind of weird seeing it in one piece. The remnant tapped the TV with its chin, and the old static screen flickered to life. Play that tape. You'll find what you're truly looking for in its contents. Sissel hesitated, feeling rather apprehensive. What was he looking for? The tape in his hand suddenly felt very frightening. But then again, what did he have to lose? Herschel already hating him for his fuck-up, and he was back to this muggy old cottage. Sissel took a deep breath before inserting the tape into the VHS set and pressed the play button. I'm not ready. I'm not here for it. The screen stuttered and shook as gears in the television clicked into place and groaned to life. Sissel stared intensely at the static roll by trying to make out something in a mess of shapes. Am I working? His ears perked up at the sounds of a young but familiar voice. Is this thing working? Oh, thump! Straight up. Herschel, don't hit it! You're gonna break the darn thing! The static on the screen suddenly cleared itself, followed by a triumphant shout. I got it to work though, it's all fine! Oh my god, wait, he's precious! Oh, with the little smile for the camera, sis! Got any memorable words for a brand new mom? Cecilia Bradley stared awkwardly into the camera while busying herself with the small baby in her arms. Oh, she looks fucked up, but she looks precious, though. She looked fatigued, but happy as she gently rocked her arms at a smoothing rhythm. Look, it's a baby. I made it myself. Herschel snorted as zoomed at the camera to the baby's face. He cooed softly at the baby, sniffled quietly at the noise. He's so cute! How did an ugly old lady like you have such an adorable kid? I'm gorgeous, thank you very much. And so is my kid. He obviously gets all of his good traits from me. After all, his father... Cecilia was abruptly silent, his shoulders sinking into a tired slump. Herschel lowered the camera slightly and reached over to pat her back. Hey, sis, you alright? I know you're still going through some shit. That asshole dumped you at the worst time possible. Oh my god, look at baby Sissel. Oh no. The baby suddenly let out a small squeak and reached its tiny hands to hold Cecilia's finger, as if to comfort her. His hand looked ridiculously tiny in comparison. Cecilia's eyes softened as she brushed her baby's head softly before kissing them on the nose. Oh, aren't you the sweetest thing? She looked up to Herschel with a soft, bittersweet smile. He's so precious, isn't he? Her voice cracked for a moment as she closed her eyes tightly. Oh no. Herschel, I'm scared. Scared of what? Of this. Of being a mom. You know how our parents were. I don't even know how a real mom is supposed to act. What if I mess this up? This little guy deserves better than what we've got. The room was silent for a long minute. Cecilia lowered her gaze to the floor apprehensively. She looked so distraught, as though this has been plaguing her mind for a while. Herschel cleared his throat and hummed thoughtfully under his breath. Well, I don't know about much good moms, but you've been a real good sister. Herschel laughed awkwardly, and Cecilia couldn't help but smile a little as well. This is gonna end really badly, and I don't want it to. You pretty much single-handedly rescued me from that hell house and raised me into a decent, I think, person. I think you'll do fine with your own kid. And you care. You love him so much. I'm sure the little guy will be happier to have you as a mommy. Cecilia gently brushed her baby's head, a little more reassured. Thanks, Hirsch. I'll probably mess up a few times, but I'll do my best to give him a better childhood than we ever had. It'll be a bumpy road, but I wouldn't trade this for anything. I'm going to do everything I can to raise him and be the happiest boy in the world. Oh no, I'm feeling things. The little baby giggled in response and snugged closely to his mom. I'm feeling things, you fucker. There was determination in her eyes as she held him close and hummed contently into his ear. There was no doubt that she would do her child justice and probably spoil him silly. Herschel's chuckle broke through the quiet, happy moment. I can't believe I'm an uncle now. I'm starting to feel old. I sure hope he doesn't pick up any of your bad habits as he grows up. Guess what, bitch? I can barely deal with one of you. Uncle Herschel will be the funnest uncle you'll ever have. And don't get ahead of yourself yet, you still haven't named the little guy yet. You've been procrastinating on that for months. Cecilia sputtered nervously. I'm not good with names. How do parents even decide what to call their kids? There are too many options. And you keep telling me my ideas are dumb. Stop trying to name your kid after cake, sis. I know you're a bake all, but there's no way in hell I'm going to introduce my nephew as tiramisu. But... or eclair, or Swiss, a sponge. Especially not fucking sponge. Cecilia mumbled begrudgingly to herself. It's a good cake. Your child is not a cake. Please take this seriously. Cecilia paused, quiet for a few long moments as she gently brushed her child's hair. Her eyes suddenly lit up as she grinned. Sissel. Sissel? Herschel rolled the word off of his tongue as though testing how it sounded. Cecilia. Sissel. It's your own name with a little L added at the end. He'll grow up to be a lovable beauty like his mom. What's so wrong with that? Oh no, how is he? The VHS sputtered as static started fogging through the screen again. Cecilia's voice could still be heard whispering softly to their new named child. This is gonna fuck Sissel up, dude. I love you, Sissel. No matter what happens, just know that I am so happy to have you with me. I hope I can be a good mom to you. This is gonna fuck Sissel up, dude. The television powered down with a low whine as the video ended. The cottage was quiet and still. Dude, no, I can't look at your crying face right now. Tears slowly fell from Sissel's cheeks and landed on his hands and lap like a little raindrops. He sniffed, shoulders shaking as he tried to collect himself. Cecilia Bradley's warm voice still echoed in his head as he slowly wiped his eyes. Oh no! Sissel, I had a mom. Sissel's heart lurched against his chest. I'm gonna fucking cry, dude. All this time he thought his parents never cared for him. All those years he spent wandering the streets and felt like unwanted trash. All this time he had a mother who held him with such warmth and love. Mom. This felt like such a foreign word to him, but it was almost something he desperately longed for. My god, bitch! Sissel clutched his arms close to his chest and sobbed quietly to himself, alone in this abandoned cottage. Years of frustration, pain, and longing suddenly flooded out as he cried and cried and cried. More, bitch? Like, you gained your tears back? You're that hydrated? Damn. Man, I don't... Looked a while before he felt steady enough to stand up again. The sun was already falling low on the horizon when Sissel stepped outside the cabin's rotting doorframe. Remy followed him outside and glanced at him curiously. Oh, God, I fucking hate you. Are you feeling alright? Yeah, I'm still processing it all. It's a lot to take in. His head was still a mess of feelings that he couldn't quite make sense of. Everything just felt heavier. Sissel sighed. It's just, when I see my mom and Herschel being so happy in that video, I can't help but think, why am I not there? I should be with them, together and happy with my family. But I'm still here alone in the woods. I still grew up on the streets without a home. Sissel clawed at his chest in frustration and sighed. That video of his mother felt like such a fantasy. I wish I was there. Oh, God. Fuck you. Go fuck yourself. I know where your... You better not drown my boyfriend, you bitch! I know where your mother is. Huh? I can take you to her. The remnant grinned and suddenly disappeared into the forest trail. Follow me. Wait up! Is this another ghostly life-changing discovery? Because I'm not sure if I'm ready. Sissel panicked slightly at the realization that the creature was nowhere in sight. With a sigh, he took off running down the forest trail towards Bradley Lake. If you drown my fucking boyfriend, you fucking bitch. Sissel skidded to a stop at the lake's edge to find a creature staring out in the open water. He followed its gaze curiously, but there was only the gentle waves of Bradley Lake lapping in the afternoon air. What are you looking at? There's something in the water. Something you have to see for yourself. The creature waved its head in a beckoning gesture. Come on, follow me. I'll show you. No! He's gonna fucking die and I'm not here for it. Sissel only stared, perplexed, as the creature began walking straight into the water and slowly disappearing beneath the surface. I don't think this is a good idea. I mean, I can't even swim. I'll probably fall over and drown or something. The remnant chuckled, its voice echoing through the quiet forest air. Don't worry. I'll catch you. You're a fucking liar! The water's only waist deep anyhow. Come, you have to see this for yourself. You said you wanted to know what happened to your mother, didn't you? I did, but this doesn't seem... Sissel hesitated, staring into the dark waters apprehensively. What would this even accomplish? Then again, this ghost thing did help him find the answers he was looking for before. With a sigh, Sissel kicked off his shoe and socks at the lake's sandy shores before reluctantly wading into the cold water. I'm not liking this at all whatsoever. The water was chilled to the touch. Sissel winced as he carefully stepped further out into the lake, his shorts getting soaked and cold. True to his words, the water was only waist deep here. Sissel felt dumb and kicked around the lake mud, feeling through the wet dirt and branches with his toes. What exactly am I supposed to be looking for here? He paused, the anxiousness rising when nobody responded. Hello? Ghost, are you still there? Only silence. Sissel swore quietly under his breath and continued kicking around the lake bed aimlessly. If the damn ghost was going to ditch him like this, he might as well... Huh? He felt his toe brush up against something hard and cold in the water. It was too solid to be another tree branch. Something about it felt strangely out of place in this lake. Sissel took a deep breath before crouching down and fishing blindly in the muddy water. Do I have to put a fucking trigger warning for this episode? Oh, here we go. Never mind, it's a bone, but a flash of white made his heart jump in his chest. Out from the dark waters was a long, silvery bone of an adult femur. Sissel immediately felt very nauseous. What is this? You said I'd find where my mom... Realization hit him like a truck. He clenched his mouth shut as he felt sick, threatening to keep up his throat. This is what you wanted to show me? Oh my god, yeah, despair, bitch. We're in Danganronpa now. This can't mean what I think. There's got to be something else. Why did you... Bitch, I told you! The water suddenly erupted with dozens of dark, disembodied arms. Lake water sprayed everywhere as tendrils slithered through the waves like a mass of serpents. The remnant's cackling was unbearably loud as Sissel felt countless hands. Oh my god, I'm choking up, bitch. Countless hands roughly grabbing at every part of him they could reach. He couldn't even scream before the arms dragged him down beneath the water's surface. Dude, fuck this shit. Completely helpless. Sissel couldn't do nothing as he felt himself being dragged deeper and deeper into the depths of Bradley Lake. And there was nothing. Only black. Did we lose? The skies were dark with gray as a rainstorm slowly grew overhead. The world felt like a blur as Ginny and I scrambled through Bradley woods in a breathless rush. Sissel always comes here to calm down. He's got to be here. He has to be. My head felt drunk with anxiety as I ransacked every corner of the forest. There's still a chance that we can find him before the remnant does if we just hurry. Feet, over there! Ginny pointed into the distance. My stomach dropped at the sight of a familiar figure floating motionless in the lake. Ignoring Ginny's painful wheezing behind me, I made a mad dash towards it. Dude, I'm not fucking ready! My shoes were immediately soaked when I leaped into the water and desperately splashed my way to Sissel's prone floating body. Panic was still coursing through my head as I pulled over my shoulder and dragged him to the shore. Ginny was waiting for us there, panting and out of breath. He's not moving. What if... In spite of her exhausted state, Ginny let out her hand in a forced composure. Stay calm. We have to stay calm. It sounded more like she was speaking to herself more than me. Lay him down on his back on the shore. I know how to perform CPR. The basics, at least. In the meantime, get your phone and call for help. I closed my eyes, took a deep breath, and nodded. After gently settling Sissel into the sand, Ginny quickly leaned his head back to clear his airway and pressed his face closer, listening. I'm not okay, dude. Shirokoi, why the fuck do you have to do this to me? Her face was grim. Her hands pressed around Sissel's cold neck and chest frantically before Ginny let out a pained sigh of relief. Still alive. Not breathing normally, though. Chest compressions might... She muttered to herself as she traced both hands into the correct spots over the sternum and positioned herself over Sissel's unconscious body. Ginny counted out loud as she pushed down on Sissel's chest rhythmically. At around 8th or 9th compression, Sissel's body abruptly spasmed as he lurched forward, belching out lake water and gasping for breath. Ginny and I were immediately at his side. Oh, thank God! Gently patting his back as he choked out more water. His breath slowly steadied. Sissel's hand eventually fell back into the sand and looked slightly more relaxed. I let out a long breath. Oh my God, he's not dead. Me too, bitch, damn. Ginny's shoulder finally relaxed as she choked out a relieved laugh. I think he's gonna be alright. Come on, let's go call someone to help him home. Right. My hands were still shaking as I dug out my phone. I swore loudly when my clumsy fingers pressed the wrong buttons in my contacts. I tried to hang up, but to my surprise, Herschel picked up the phone almost immediately. Vede? Uh-oh. Hey, Herschel, I didn't mean to call. Herschel let out a long, regretful sigh before speaking again. Listen, I'm real sorry for that outburst earlier today. Don't know what came over me. Is Sissel doing alright? I gulped and hesitated for a moment. Herschel may have been unbelievably angry earlier, but he still clearly cared about Sissel's well-being. Making up my mind, I slowly explained the situation to him. I was barely halfway through before a sharp clatter echoed across the phone as Herschel stood up. His voice shook with worry and a hint of fear. At the lake, he said? I'll be there in 5 minutes with my truck. You kids stay there. And then he hung up. The next few hours passed at a slow and anxious crawl. Then a light rain, bitch, drizzled through the city as an overcast sun slipped into a dark evening. Herschel had raced his truck to the lakeside road like a madman, easily breaking a dozen traffic laws. He looked utterly terrified and ashamed of what he saw Sissel's prone body, but he leapt into action and carried him into his truck and out of the rain. Ginny and I were ushered inside as well, and before we knew it, we were back at the empty cafe. And that is where I am going to stop the episode of this anxious-filled shit. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Veed. I hope that you had a wonderful time watching this. I hope you had a wonderful time watching me see Sissel almost die, basically. That's basically what happened. He almost died. Make sure to hit the like, comment, subscribe buttons down below. You know, help a fellow YouTuber out. Make sure to hit the notification bell so in that way you don't miss up on any of my uploads. And I will see you in the next episode. Whoops. Sorry. Bye.